It's been a spectacular week, to say the least. A busy week, but certainly a fun one. I mean, Pocono was, that was incredible to get that win, and it's been an interesting year for us with the 24 team. We get the win early on in Phoenix, and had a lot of momentum early and a spectacular run there. And then we just went through this streak of not performing well, other than maybe the short tracks, and then some crashes and some different things that, but more importantly, the bad runs, Texas and places like that, where I just was pretty disappointed in our mile-and-a-half program. And then we really start turning the corner, looking at wind tunnel and 7 posts and just trying to gather information. And then we go to Pocono and we win. We had just a solid weekend. So it was, spectacular. We're definitely coming to a streak of tracks here that are really good for us, including here at Michigan, one of my favorite tracks. And we ran well here last year. So, I feel like we can follow up that great run at Pocono with another good one here.
So let's take a look at who got there fastest, right, Randy? Race car drivers are always talking about who does what fastest. The road to 84 wins for Bobby Allison took him 707 starts. Jeff was 631, but old DW made it fastest, 558 starts to 84 wins.
Wow, DW in the Hall of Fame, of course, this past week, and congratulations once again to him. But when you talk about Jeff Gordon, one could argue that the competition level from when Darrell first started to when Jeff first started and carried through might be a little bit more difficult nowadays. And certainly, any way you look at it, Jeff Gordon's 70 poles, of course, the 84 wins. There's no doubt that he's going to climb into third all-time alone, and he still has a few years left. Not to mention, he wins last week. He's got a shot here this week, and of course, out there on the racetrack, didn't turn in some spectacular numbers yesterday on the racetrack, Johnny. But nonetheless, this is all about getting your car to work well on older tires. I think Jeff Gordon is set up to have a fine race here on Sunday as well. So who knows? Maybe his 85th win comes this weekend.
On this Father's Day weekend, our good friend Jeff Hammond made a good point yesterday about maybe that Jeff Gordon is racing for something different right now. He's got 2 kids, and he wants to make sure that his kids share in some of the success that he's had in the past, that they know, hey, my dad really did this, and I really witnessed it when I did it, because his daughter's getting old enough now to be in victory lane with him, and he often refers to how important that is.
And these guys are human beings. You have to remember that all types of things motivate these guys, Johnny. When you talk about a race car driver, the physical qualities that these guys have, what makes them great? Well, it's not as obvious. A lot of it is in the head. It's behind and between the ears, so to speak. So sometimes if you can get that extra motivation where you're feeling comfortable, you want to prove something, you want to make sure that your family can enjoy your accomplishments, one of those things could motivate a driver to do very well, and I think that's happening with Jeff Gordon.
Absolutely. Family's a lot bigger than racing, but racing's one big family in and of itself. Got to take another quick break here on NASCAR Live, presented by Geico. But when we come back, we'll get some final thoughts as we head into qualifying here, because we got 47 cars going for 43 positions and a very important pole position, because that means best pit selection.
I rely on my pit crew for a lot of things, both on and off the track. But when it comes to my cars, I take care of them myself, because I know I'm going to do it right. Armor All. Care for your car. And to protect against brake dust and grime, try new Armor All Wheel Protectant.
Here's to the pursuit of better, faster, cleaner, funner. Here's to the pursuit of another 100 years of earning America's trust. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
I have COPD. If you have it, you know how hard it can be to breathe and what that feels like. COPD includes chronic bronchitis and emphysema. Spiriva helps control my COPD symptoms by keeping my airways open a full 24 hours. Plus, it reduces COPD flare-ups. Spiriva is the only once-daily inhaled COPD maintenance treatment that does both, and it's steroid-free.
Spiriva does not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms. Tell your doctor if you have kidney problems, glaucoma, trouble urinating, or an enlarged prostate. These may worsen with Spiriva. Discuss all medicines you take, even eye drops. Stop taking Spiriva and call your doctor right away if your breathing suddenly worsens, your throat or tongue swells, you get hives, vision changes or eye pain, or problems passing urine. Other side effects include dry mouth and constipation.
Nothing can reverse COPD. Spiriva helps me breathe better.
Breathing with COPD is no small thing. Ask your doctor about Spiriva.
It's Pep Boys Summer Free-For-All. Hot free deals this week only. Buy 5 quarts of Castrol GTX for just $14.95 and get an oil filter free. Get select Blackmagic wheel and tire products. Buy one, get one free. Or select Prestone fuel additives. Buy one, get one free. Plus, the spark plugs are free. Use your Champion mail-in rebate and get up to 16 spark plugs absolutely free.
Pep Boys does everything for less.
NASCAR Live is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. Brought to you in part by Feed the Children and Speedway Children's Charities. Visit speedtofeed.org for more information. And by Dollar General. To get your favorite brands for race day, visit Dollar General. Save time, save money, every day.
Welcome back, everyone, to NASCAR Live, presented by Geico. And here's a little free piece of advice for you. If you're anywhere near Michigan, jump in the car, come on down here tomorrow. You can come by, see us on race day, and then we guarantee a good show on the racetrack tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be great weather for racing, and it's also going to be a very interesting show because manufacturer bragging rights are on the line. Let's now get some final thoughts from our pit reporters, starting out with Bob Dillner. Bob?
Well, Johnny, a lot of drama going into NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying, and that's because a lot of people have their eye on this particular car, the number 6 for David Reagan. Fastest in the first practice yesterday, and then as you showed a little while earlier on NASCAR Live, the little bump and run with Jeff Burton yesterday on the racetrack. Trouble. A lot of damage to the rear of the 31 and also the front end of the 61. In fact, take a look at the damage that they repaired here yesterday. You can see it's got a different color decal right here on the right front of the nose piece on this car. Some dents, some bangs and bruises here, but they feel that they have this car prepared well for this weekend, and David Reagan is certainly one of the guys that needs to perform well. UPS may or may not come back with Roush Fenway Racing. He needs a victory here in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series circuit, and it could come this weekend. He's been very good here in the past. 2 top 10 runs. In fact, he has a top 5 run here at the Brooklyn racetrack. So look for David Reagan not only to be good in qualifying today, the last car out, but also in tomorrow's race. Wendy?
Thanks, Bob. You're on pit road, and I'm still in the garage area watching these final cars go through tech inspection. Let me set the stage of what happened throughout the day today. The garage opened up at 10 a.m., which is actually a pretty late start for these guys. They got a chance to sleep in for the first time, and the garage is only open till about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So a short afternoon. As soon as qualifying's done, these guys will head out of the garage area. This is the only thing on the schedule for day Cup qualifying. All the practice was yesterday. When you talk to the crew members in the garage, they really love this type of schedule. It's a little bit different than what we're used to, but right now Casey Kane's car is right behind me, finishing up the final stages of tech inspection. All the ladies love Casey Kane, and then the rest of these cars are going to head out to the grid, and once qualifying wraps up for today, we're wrapping up, and we'll get ready for race day tomorrow. Johnny?
Wendy, thanks a lot. And let's also not forget that for Dale Earnhardt Jr., it has been 107 races since he has won. Carl Edwards, what a difference a year makes. Well, he's got 1 win as opposed to 0, but when you look at this big difference in a year, Randy Pemberton, it's got to be the Denny Hamlin situation that sticks out.
Yeah, when we left this racetrack 1 year ago, believe it or not, Denny Hamlin had already garnered 5 wins, so they are certainly behind those times here so far this year. But, you know, there's a lot of racing left, and a lot of times we talk about, well, we're getting close to the cutoff and the chase and all that, and that's certainly a factor. But there's so many more races that these guys can go out and win races, you know?
And a big difference in a year is points for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He right now is in 3rd points position, and although he doesn't have any wins as of yet, Randy, that 3rd in points is pretty big because he also has 2 second-place finishes, and that could change in a big way this weekend.
Well, he's certainly not getting any further away, from a win. He's gone now 3 years this week from his last win. Came here at Michigan in 2008, that fuel mileage victory. But nonetheless, he's shown some good speed. He's shown some, obviously, their communication between He and Letarte, very good. I think this could be his weekend. We'll have to wait and see.
And he also showed some good poise working that ignition box, saving the gas toward the end. There's always kind of drama. There's always that kind of drama. Let's go to AA for qualifying. Adam?
Thank you, John. Good to have you with us on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon in the Irish Hills of Michigan. We're getting ready to set the field for race 15 in 2011 in the Sprint Cup Series here at the Michigan International Speedway. What you see is what you get when it comes to the weather. 78 degrees, gorgeous sunny day, and as you can see, a slight breeze coming out of the east as we get ready to put them on track for qualifying. We're glad you're with us. Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds, I'm Adam Alexander, and we got 46 drivers getting ready to hit the track for qualifying. 200 miles per hour into the corner. Some anxiety right now for these guys, DW?
You know, it's a piece of cake if the car's good. And you'll know it's good when you come off turn 4 to get the green flag. You got to leave pit road, and you got to leave there, as they say, driving it like you stole it. You got to haul butt down that back straightaway, get up ahead of steam. When you come off of turn 4, you're going to know what you got. And so that gives you a little bit of confidence going into turn 1. But over 200 miles on this low bank racetrack, kind of slick and the sun out, it's going to be a handful, brother.
So when you look at the guys that will go out, Brian Keselowski, the first on track, he was slowest in the opening practice yesterday. David Reagan, fastest, will be the last on track. A lot of unpredictability in what we will see at the end of this session, Larry.
Well, I don't know that I would want to be one of the first drivers going out because this track has been sitting here for about an hour and the oils just bleed up out of it. But, you know, quite honestly, I don't see a cloud in the sky. I don't think, there's always the debate, do I want to go out early? Do I want to go out in the middle? Do I want to go out late? I think this qualifying session is going to be pretty consistent. But what I love, and I know I continue to promote this, I love this change that NASCAR made a few weeks ago where basically it's the slowest to the fastest with all the drivers encompassed. And I think when you have all the practice on Friday like we're having, it's become very unpredictable to say who is the fastest driver. I look at the last 2 weeks, even with a backup car last week at Pocono, I don't think anyone was predicting Kurt Busch was going to sit on neither one of those poles. It just makes it very unpredictable, and I think we'll have to wait to that last driver to truly know who will be on the pole.
It's going to be entertaining. We'll roll them out in a moment. You're watching NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying on Speed, the Motorsports Authority.
NASCAR on Speed is presented in high definition by Funai. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, all season long, live on Speed.
We believe everyone should get low prices every day.
Every day. On everything. On everything. And if you happen to find something lower,
we'll match it. We'll match it.
We'll match it. Any ad, any price.
Right at the register.
Get low prices every day on everything you need to beat the summer heat. Like Minute Maid Lemonade or Tropicana Fruit Punch for just $1. Backed by our Ad Match Guarantee. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Who's serving up a big breakfast this weekend?
On an endless buffet, a juicy steak.
Don't flip out. Only Golden Corral would include steak for breakfast. It's on our endless weekend breakfast buffet, all for a great low price. Only at Golden Corral.
Burger King created an enticing alliance of brainiacs and carnivores to formulate the BK Stacker, a crave-crushing quotient of beef, bacon, budget, and cheese for a head-slappingly simple 1, 2, 3. The BK Stacker, only at Burger King.
He's going with the long tongs. Would have gone short tongs, but he's a pro. Montreal steak, unbelievable flavor.
With the mouth-watering flavor of Grill Mates, you can grill like an expert. McCormick Grill Mates. Master the flame. Master the flavor.
Well, I know one thing about marketing. The more logos you put in one place, the better.
Having something unique is better.
Check it out.
The Shell nitrogen-enriched cleaning system acts as a barrier to help protect against performance-robbing gunk.
He's good.
Hey, Kurt, it's Kyle. Hey, you got a minute?
Not really. Kind of busy.
You have got to check out the new NASCAR.com race view. I mean, these new virtual graphics make my car look almost real. Did you know fans can customize this to follow me all race long and listen to my in-car audio? And now my fans can even watch you try to keep up with me in the new head-to-head view. I mean, how cool is that?
Check out the brand new and dramatically improved race view, only at NASCAR.com.
Kurt, hey, Kurt.
Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying for Michigan, brought to you by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Matt Yoakum and Chris Neville with us for qualifying today on pit road. Chris, you're up first.
Well, Mike Skinner's finished in the top 4 in the Truck Series five different times. And Mike, you sat on the front row back in 1999, the Sprint Cup race, but not a lot of speed this weekend. Did you guys figure out anything last night?
I know Tommy and the guys, Mike, all the guys worked really, really hard on it. And we kept on swinging for the fence during practice, and we get on one side or the other of it. Hopefully they got this big red Toyota Camry right in the middle, and we can cut a good enough lap to make the show. We've struggled with this car a little bit, and we're just going to keep on working and get it better. If not, I think Senior and Bob Germain will probably find a little faster one for us.
A little bit further down pit lane, Matt Yoakum.
Chris, Bobby Labonte's a 4-time pole winner here at the Michigan International Speedway. No money clouds, Bob. Nope. What are your expectations rolling off so early?
And I don't know. I mean, I would assume it's just going to stay the same temperature probably throughout the way the time is. And the track has been sitting for a little bit, like you mentioned a while ago off air. And, you know, that sometimes will play a little havoc with it right away. But, you know, hopefully by the time we go, it should be back to where it was yesterday in practice. The only thing is we didn't make a lot of runs in the first practice. We had some carburetor issues and tried a couple different things, and we were really loose in qualifying trim. So I didn't even make one lap, and then I finally made a lap. Probably even shouldn't have done that. So hopefully it'll be better for us today.
Bobby Labonte fans, take note, he was very strong in race trim. He's a 3-time winner here at MIS. Guys?
The 2000 Series champion, going to be one of the first cars out in qualifying today. Brian Keselowski will go under the green flag when we continue in the Irish Hills of Michigan. Good to have you with us for Sprint Cup qualifying on Speed.
The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series comes to Infineon Raceway in Sonoma. Toyota Save Mart 350, June 24th through 26th. The Toyota Save Mart 350, part of the Big O Tires racing season. Tickets at InfineonRaceway.com. Think outside the oval.
Here's to the pursuit of better, faster, cleaner, funner. Here's to the pursuit of advancements that help make new engines possible and dreams a reality. Here's to the pursuit of another 100 years of earning America's trust. Not just oil, Pennzoil. Get the same Pennzoil that Elio uses in his Indy car, now at AutoZone.
Introducing the ultimate
Bug bites, poison ivy, and sunburn? Relieve the pain and itching fast with Gold Bond Maximum Relief Anti-Itch Cream. 2 maximum strength medicines cool and soothe pain and itch on contact. Gold Bond Maximum Relief, the quick fix for almost every itch.
In the grip of arthritis pain, nagging back pain, joint pain, break the grip with Aspercreme. Its maximum strength medicine relieves your pain, and there's no embarrassing odor. Break the grip of pain with odor-free Aspercreme.
Out. Good gravy, Bill. Our insurance company doesn't have anything like it.
Magnificent, isn't it? With Progressive, it's easy to cover all of your favorite rides.
Progressive has truck insurance?
#1 in truck and motorcycle.
Is that a golf cart?
Yep. We also cover RVs, boats, ATVs. Anything else I can help you with?
Can I take a ride?
You need a ticket?
I'm first.
That's by the water slide. Okay. No running. Oh, dear.
Save on all your rides. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
Back at the Michigan International Speedway, folks in the Midwest celebrating summertime in Michigan. And they have come out in full force. Good to see this 2-mile oval full on the infield. And a busy weekend. The ARCA Racing Series here yesterday evening. Nationwide competition later today, and only one way to get ready for the Sprint Cup race tomorrow. It's right here on Speed with Race Day. Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch will be by to talk live. DW, you will be there.
I'm going to referee.
Okay, very good. And they're also going to talk about Jeff Gordon and those 84 wins in his career, the most recent coming last week. Race Day comes your way tomorrow, built by the Home Depot It happens at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, only on Speed.
And I tell you who else they're going to talk to, and I think everybody's excited to see him back at the racetrack in a Sprint Cup Series car. We'll see him qualify here shortly. Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bayne back in a Sprint Cup car, the 21. They're going to talk to him tomorrow on race day.
And he's running with pretty good company. I mean, if you're going to come back to a place, if you're going to start at Michigan, the Wood brothers are a pretty good team to be driving for.
Yeah, they got a lot of wins here through
11.
the years. 11 wins.
Of course, it didn't hurt they had David Pearson driving for him all those years. He was the king of this place. But
yeah, well, you know, you always got to have the combination: driver, crew, team, the whole 9 yards. You can't do it by yourself.
So Brian Keselowski going to be the first to hit the track for qualifying, and one of the 11 go-or-go homers that will take time here today. 3 drivers will go home and not make the show.
You know, Brian made the Daytona 500, but I have to believe outside of the 500, a race he would love to be in tomorrow. This is a home track for he and his brother Brad. They're from Rochester Hills, Michigan, would be right here. Their dad actually raced in the Truck Series and ARCA Series here.
Does the sponsor on the side of that car bring back any memories?
Yeah.
Went to Victory Lane a number of times, especially here.
It just his car didn't have a 2 on it.
Sponsor on Bill Elliott's car for a number of years.
Brian Keselowski with 3 ARCA Racing Series wins. And he won the late model championship in ARCA in Toledo in 2003. Making the Daytona 500 special, but if Brian could race here tomorrow afternoon, certainly being a Michigan native, this would be one to cross off the list for him, no doubt.
Well, he ran a 40.26 in practice. Let me see. In the first practice. Yeah. He had a quicker second practice, but of course we go off the speed they put up in the first practice.
Yeah, it was kind of strange, Darrell. A lot of the go-or-go homers made their mock qualifying run in the second practice. It let them see what their car would run, but all your qualifying order comes from practice number 1.
Brian's first lap complete, 39.46 for the 92.
That's right in there with what he ran in the second practice yesterday. He ran a 39.61, so picked up a teeny bit. But Larry, if you're a go-or-go homer, you don't run a very fast lap in the first practice where they set the times that we're going to qualify by. Wouldn't you like to know your car will be pretty fast and go out first?
Yes.
In this session?
Absolutely.
Because it's going to only get, you know, marginally
a little
hotter.
warmer. Yes.
Second on track for qualifying, Mike Bliss. Chris?
Well, David Stremmy's going to roll off 13th in qualifying. And David, second practice, you guys were just on fire. You finished top of the charts. What did you guys learn between the first and the second practice?
Well, we have to qualify in, so we worked a lot on qualifying trim. In the second practice, I don't think a lot of guys were, but our times picked up tremendously. Still, I think would put us in the top 15. So going out early here, I hope it helps. But all these guys on the Inception Motorsports car have been doing a great job. And we just trying to keep building a notebook and keep moving forward here. And we're still looking for sponsorship. So if there's anybody out there, we can put them on the quarter panel of this number 30.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Mike Bliss on track. On the hood of that race car, Christopher Payton. His son Kyle wrote an essay to the sponsor, Blue Sigs. They won the Father's Day competition. Christopher's battling stage 3 kidney disease, and certainly a heartwarming story, and he can celebrate because he is going to make the show here this weekend. Mike Bliss completing his qualifying run, and he goes to the top. 38.866 for the 32.
You know she's slick when the go-or-go homer's only running 1 lap, which he's actually locked in.
Michael McDowell on track when we return on Speed.
NASCAR Race Day marches into Michigan. Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch join us live. Plus, we'll analyze how Jeff Gordon's career stacks up to the rest of the 84 Win Club. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, Sunday at 10 Eastern. Live on Speed.
Who's feeling power hungry? Who's ready to break through more barriers? From brick walls to budgets. Then let's get our hands on some of those tools that only live on orange shelves. Because when we come home with that fistful of doing and keep that pocket full of savings, there's nothing we can't conquer. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Power more projects with this Ryobi starter kit or Dremel Multimax, each just $89.
You know, actually, you fit the car pretty well. I felt that he was quite cheeky, to be honest. You're gonna break it. Telling you, I can fit. But, you know, I don't like to judge, no matter how much of a fool he makes himself look.
Do you think he's capable of driving your car?
If we can get him sitting high enough in the seat, probably have to get him a kid's seat so he can see over the steering wheel.
I think I'll make this look pretty good.
You look ridiculous in there.
Find out why more champions put their trust in the synthetic technology of Mobil 1, the official motor oil of NASCAR. Many drivers, one oil, Mobil 1.
Well, it's a glorious day. I don't know about all you, but I've been waiting a long time for this day to happen. And it's finally here. Kawasaki's Good Time Sales Event! Kawasaki! You can win a Kawasaki at every participating dealership. A Ninja 250R, buy a 250, and thousands of other prizes. And on that note, I love ya.
You are cordially invited to Kawasaki's Good Time Sales Event. Get your ticket at kawasaki.com/win.
If you're looking for a pickup truck, check out the miles per gallon, the length of the powertrain warranty, and the horsepower. Only Ram delivers this kind of muscle. That'll thin out the herd real quick. Guts, glory, Ram.
Michael McDowell, the third car out in qualifying this afternoon. He fits into that go or go home category. And yesterday in practice, Michael turned his quickest time in the final session at a 39.16. And right now it's a 38.86 that is at the top of the board.
You know, Darrell and I were talking during the commercial break. That 38.86 that Mike Bliss ran in that 32 car, that is a good lap based on practice, which tells me this track may have more speed in it than we're thinking.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at David Reagan's time, you'll say the quick time was 38.58. That 38.86, that's a good time based on yesterday.
But that goes back to the unpredictability when you have all the practice on one day and qualifying the next.
If you think it's unpredictable now, wait till the end of the session when the heavy hitters start coming to the track.
I think Michael McDowell would say his car's a little unpredictable right now. That thing was waltzing all over the place.
Michael slots in second between Bliss and Keselowski. 39.009 for Michael McDowell.
He picked up about a tenth and a half from what he ran. Now, he is a go or go. Looks like he will run that second lap.
Yeah, he's just sawing on the wheel light. You see the car kind of dipping and diving around, and that's kind of push loose, and you react by the steering wheel.
We saw 200 miles an hour on Michael McDowell right there getting into turn 3.
McDowell, a pair of starts here at Michigan in his Cup career. He hopes to make it number 3 tomorrow. Second lap, slower.
You watch those cars go down on the apron. They look like they're going to go airborne. There's a big bump there. Man, when they hit that bump, the car just flies up in the air.
Rolling onto the track now, Tony Raines, as we hear from Jamie McMurray. Chris?
Yeah, and Jamie McMurray's just enjoying this beautiful day out here. Out a little bit early for qualifying. Jamie, last year you just had the career year. This year, everything's kind of turned the opposite way. What do you guys need to do to turn it around?
Well, we've got to get our cars a little bit quicker. We're not unloading quite as fast as we did last year, but we've had a lot of bad luck too. We've had 2 engine failures and then broke a transmission last week. So that's been kind of frustrating. We had so much stuff going for us last year, whether it was qualifying or in the race. It just seems like not really that much bad luck last year, but a lot this year.
Well, good luck turning things around.
Thanks.
2 of the 11 go or go homers have been on track. Brian Keselowski and Michael McDowell. Tony Raines taking the green flag for his qualifying run. He too went fastest yesterday in the final practice session. 39.69 is what he ran in practice in that Black Cat Fireworks Ford.
Going back to Michael McDowell, who ran that second lap, it's just so hard to run faster on your second lap here because you're losing grip the more you go into the run. But the biggest thing, you run so much tape on the nose for drag reduction on the straightaways, for downforce. The engine's just getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and the power starts to go down.
It's kind of a home game for Tony Raines, his hometown, LaPorte, Indiana. And he goes third, 39.69. 39.185. 39.185 on the opening lap for Tony Raines. And it would appear he is in the gas off of turn 2 and going to try to get a little more here on the second lap.
You've got to, Adam. I mean, when you're a go or go home car and you've got to, you don't want to leave anything on the table. If you come back, if you run one lap and come in, the crew going to say, you should have run that second one. You know, even though you know it's probably going to be slower, they're looking for a miracle in some cases.
Because if you don't make the field, you can't get it back.
That's right.
Which right now, the only go or go homer that did not run a second lap was Brian Keselowski. He's the slowest of our 4 drivers that's been out to qualify.
It's kind of like having a mulligan and not using it.
I've never missed out on an opportunity like that.
He has a mulligan and uses 2.
I only use the ones I count. Count the ones I use.
The New Hampshire Motor Speedway tickets are in! Yes! Yes!
You see, it's more than just a ticket. It's total access to an unforgettable experience. NASCAR is coming soon to New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Lennox Industrial Tools 301. Put a little fun in your mailbox. Buy your tickets now.
A Venus razor, CoverGirl makeup, Olay anti-aging cream, and rubber spatulas.
What's that for?
It helps me look younger.
Does it work?
Mm-hmm.
Grandpa's gonna be so happy when he wakes up. Yeah, he's gonna look like a baby.
Only Walmart has low prices every day on everything to keep you looking young. Backed by our ad match guarantee. Save money. Live better. Walmart.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams from
I'm Larry from Daly City, and this is my power. What I like about the smart meter is you can visually see where you're using your power. So when you go online and you see this big difference between one time period and another, you try to just brainstorm what caused that big spike. We realized that, and our daughter visited. She had tons and tons of laundry that she trucked home. I said, honey, you need to start using full loads. The next month, the spikes were no longer there. Power usage had gone down quite a bit.
Go online to learn more at pge.com/smartmeter.
So at our company, we pay about the same, even though I'm a great driver and he's not so much.
Well, for a driver like you, I would recommend our new Snapshot discount. This little baby keeps track of your great driving habits so you can save money.
Amazing.
It's like an extra bonus savings.
He's my ride home.
How much can the Snapshot discount save you? Call or click today.
From the Michigan International Speedway, Mike Bliss, the fastest of the 4 cars that have been on track. Car number 5 in this session, Dave Blaney. Dave is locked into the field. So he is not in the go or go home category.
You see that thing kind of dancing around. And again, that's just a driver working the steering wheel, overworking it really, because the car is trying to push the front tires, turning, catches, the back comes out, turn, catch, turn. It's just catch and pitch.
You can definitely see the back end of that car hanging out. Darrell, I know a lot has changed since our day, but it just seemed like when we were here racing at Michigan, you just knew your car was going to be loose qualifying. It didn't matter what it did in practice.
Exactly, Larry. You always had to tighten up for qualifying.
Dave Blaney shuts it down after 1 lap. He is 4th of the 5 cars that have been out. 39.417 seconds. You want NASCAR news during the week? We got it for you. Steve Burns is not done working. He's just not at the track this weekend. He's got NASCAR Race Up Monday through Thursday. It happens at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and on Monday evening, you know they will be breaking down everything that happened here at the Michigan International Speedway. NASCAR Race Hub, only on Speed.
And who will Jimmy Spencer give the crying towel to this week? You guys were doing that last week, I think, on race day, weren't you?
We were. I love it. They found a perfect role for Jimmy Spencer. He gets that cigar and that crying towel and cracks me up every week.
And the competitors can't get to him in that studio.
When Mike Skinner talked to Chris Neville before going out to make his qualifying run, I think he said something to the effect, we're still searching for speed. Mike missed the show last week at Pocono.
Yeah, unfortunately for Mike, he tested out Mr. Mattioli's new safer barriers up there on the back straightaway coming off turn 2 or turn 1.
But Darrell, that was a classic case. They knew that first lap that he ran was not going to get him in, and they go on the radio and say, find me a little bit more. He tried, but the car wouldn't take it.
Mike slowest of these 6 cars that have been out today, 39.66.
He looks about the same way he did. He learned from last week, Larry, because I'm telling you right now, he's getting ready to do the same thing.
This week he shuts it down after lap 1. Last week he kept on digging, and here's the result.
Just got up too high, got up in the gray, and no grip. He's really fortunate he didn't catch the end of that wall sticking out there that he went by. And also very fortunate that the new safer barriers were down that back straightaway. I saw he and Angie after that, Larry, and he just said, look, they said, give me some more.
Yeah.
I tried.
That's what he tried to do.
4 of the 11 go-or-go-home cars have taken time. Michael McDowell is now locked into the field. He's quicker than Tony Raines, Brian Keselowski, and Mike Skinner, who just went on the bubble. Joe Nemechek out to make his qualifying run. Won a pole here back in 2005. Few top 10 finishes for Joe here in Michigan.
Front row Joe. Got that nickname because quite a good qualifier. Always qualifies up front.
Had a great trivia question on Joe a few weeks ago. You guys were in Kansas, and I'm kind of giving the answer away now, but you know, Joe, the only driver to sweep the weekend at Kansas, winning nationwide and Cup. That's phenomenal.
You know, there's the other part to that story too.
Okay.
He did it from the pole.
Both of them from the pole. That's right.
The pole won both those races.
Well, I tell you what he's going to do here. It probably won't end up being on the pole, but it's going to be there for the time being. So he's locked in.
He lived up to his reputation. How about 38.747? Joe Nemechek in the show. He will race tomorrow.
Love it when a plan comes together.
Just like we planned it.
It's like we sold it.
NASCAR Race Day marches into Michigan. Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch join us live. Plus, we'll analyze how Jeff Gordon's career stacks up to the rest of the 84 Win Club. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, Sunday at 10 Eastern, live on Speed. July 7th, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series stampedes into Kentucky, where NASCAR's toughest truckers saddle up and trade some paint in the Bluegrass State.
Oh, problems!
As the series favorites Bodine, Hornaday, and Peters look to get back into the championship fight, while a surprising young gun looks to pull off the upset and solidify his name as a title contender. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Kentucky, July 7th at 7:30 Eastern on Speed.
The Intimidator, the King, Smoke. If you want to be a legendary NASCAR Sprint Cup Series driver, you'll need a good nickname. And while rookie Trevor Bayne isn't quite a legend yet, we can give him a head start in the nickname department. Because with Unlimited from Sprint, you can text, tweet, or post one at no extra cost. Together, we can give this speedy newcomer a name he'll never outrun. Unlimited from Sprint, only $79.99 a month.
Green flag.
It may seem ordinary, but in the right hands, this wristband can do incredible things. It can inspire kids to go farther in school and in life, construct a playground for kids who've never had one, or help children with illnesses experience the ultimate race weekend. But the most amazing thing about wearing this wristband is showing your support for kids in need. Get yours at NASCAR.com/unites and learn how you can help us reach our goal of 1 million volunteer hours.
Behind every driver's number is another lucky number. It's your official NASCAR hologram code, and it earns you a cool e-gift when you enter it at NASCAR.com/hologram.
Travis Kvapil, the 8th car to take time in qualifying today here at Michigan. Travis not in the 38 last week. Sam Hornish Jr. took over driving duties while Travis was racing in the Camping World Truck Series event last Friday night at Texas. Travis is back today and looking to work his way into the field for tomorrow.
Yeah, Sam's starting on the front row for the race later on here this afternoon. Good job on him for him.
Yeah, he's had some good runs here talking about Sam Hornish at Michigan.
And Travis Quapple likes what just happened in his qualifying run. He has locked himself in the field. How about 38.664 seconds?
Here's another plan that comes together. Theoretically, we should have a new pole sitter every time someone goes out.
Yeah, in theory.
And we've been pretty close.
Yeah, we've been doing pretty good here lately.
And by the way, Joe's still on the front row.
Next up, Andy Lowley. Andy will have to work his way into the field on speed. He is in the go or go home bunch, and Andy actually spent some time out west this week. He was one of a handful of drivers that tested a car at Sonoma, not a Sprint Cup car, but getting familiar with the road course out there for next weekend's race.
Yeah, I mean, next weekend is almost like a home race for these guys. The winery's nearby, and I know they're looking forward to a big weekend out there.
Of course, that's Andy's forte is road racing.
I was surprised that he had not been out there in a Cup car when you look over the years, the experiences that he has had in the Sprint Cup Series, but has not made even a one-off try at Sonoma, and we'll see how he handles it next week in his debut. Today, his focus getting into tomorrow's hell of a good Sour Cream Dips 400 here at Michigan.
I found a nugget out on Andy Lowley yesterday. He is a championship professional street luger. I think I said that right.
Not loser.
Loser.
Yeah.
I thought you said it's a loser. I don't think this
you
is
got to
going
be
anywhere
careful.
here,
You got to be
Larry.
really
I like
careful
this.
with that word. And I guess that's basically on a sled on the asphalt, and you use your feet to stop yourself.
Andy.
I don't like this.
You're in.
Any part
Good lap. 38, 99, 96. 38, 96. Shut it off.
These guys are making my job easy. You're in, and give me the time. So I guess all I can do is tell you that 9 cars have been out in qualifying, and when we return, it'll be Scott Riggs on track.
Speed presents the greatest collector car event in the world. Friday. See the finest, rarest, and most incredible cars on the planet. All in one place, all up for grabs. Watch the auction live and build your dream collection. Barrett-Jackson, Orange County, presented by Castrol GTX. Live Friday at 5 Eastern, only on Speed.
What can you tell me about Cheryl nitrogen-enriched gasoline?
They clean up gunk left by lower quality gasoline.
Then they act as a protective barrier that shields and protects engines against performance-robbing gunk.
You really are experts.
He's going with the long tongs. Would have gone short tongs, but he's a pro.
Montreal steak, unbelievable flavor.
With the mouth-watering flavor of Grill Mates, you can grill like an expert. McCormick Grill Mates. Master the flame. Master the flavor.
Introducing the ultimate.
Addicted to Dr. Drew?
Shh, no one ever talks about that.
Well, now, get your fix. Weeknights at 9 on HLN. We know you're excited. Just breathe.
Look, I'm a physician. I know what's important to people.
Watch Dr. Drew at 9. Weeknights on HLN.
And now we can talk about love addiction.
To 11 million cancer survivors, Happy Birthday is a victory song. We're the American Cancer Society, the official sponsor of birthdays.
So at our company, we pay about the same, even though I'm a great driver and he's not so much.
Well, for a driver like you, I would recommend our new Snapshot discount. This little baby keeps track of your great driving habits so you can save money.
Amazing.
It's like an extra bonus savings.
He's my ride home.
How much can the Snapshot discount save you? Call or click today.
Michigan, and as he prepares to take the green flag, we hear from the man who is living up to his nickname, Matt.
And he is still on the front row. That's Joe Nemechek. And we were talking about your splitter, that bump at start-finish from the new tunnel. great for the fans, but create a little bit of havoc for you.
I tell you what, it's unless you run right by the wall, it's pretty brutal. It definitely adds some character to the track. But what's tough about it is you're compressing the front end and the back end isn't compressed, and it just really wears the splitter bad. But I just got to thank my whole crew. We work really hard and trying to get some good stuff going for us, but just happy to be here, happy to have a good run finally.
He's a prolific qualifier, but Larry Mack, he's not a street loser.
Yeah, I had never even heard of it until yesterday, but they tell me it is absolutely out of control and insane.
Yeah, I've seen it on TV. It's one of those shows. I forget which one it is. One of those crazy shows.
But Andy Lally obviously is very adventurous. We've already heard about him doing jiu-jitsu. We've heard about him parachuting out of airplanes. So he's adventurous.
I think I'm going to start a series called The Crazy Show.
Who are you going to get to host that, Daryl?
Jeff Hammond.
Scott Riggs. He can shut it down because he's in the field. 6 out of the 10 cars that have taken time, 39.177 seconds, and that's quicker than Tony Raines, Brian Keselowski, and Mike Skinner.
And actually, with only 3 go-or-go-homers left, we'll start bumping some boys out of here and sending them home here directly.
Time to get down to it. Before we get to those final 3 go-or-go-home cars, Bobby Labonte rolls onto the track. A lot of success for him here at Michigan. Matt talked to him before he made his qualifying run. 4 poles, 3 wins, and a new sponsor this weekend, Rain Eater Wiper Blades.
You know what else happened over there, Daryl, and I found this a little unusual. As we know, after the Kansas race, Pat Tryson was released as the crew chief for Martin Truex Jr., and he's now doing consultant work over there with Bobby Labonte. This team has an affiliation with Michael Waltrip Racing. They're actually even in the race shop at MWR.
Yeah, they all work together. The cars and the engine and everything come out of Michael's shop. Frankie Kerr and Pat are working together, just trying to get Bobby a little bit better car, you know, give him something to work with. Had a great run at Daytona back in February, but struggled quite a bit since then. Trying to get the performance up. Everybody is. I mean, that's the big deal right now. Making changes, trying to get better.
Yeah, he gets over 200 miles an hour entering turn 3.
Well, we're 12 races away from the chase, and that's not, it sounds like a lot of races, but it's truly not.
They're clicking right off, buddy. I'm telling you, they're coming fast.
Bobby Labonte goes straight to the top, 38.49 for the 47. That's fast. In fact, quite a bit faster than a street loser. They average speeds of 40 to 97 miles per hour.
With your
Jeff
feet. And what I like, you stop with your feet. I don't know. Something about that doesn't feel right.
Jeff Gordon getting ready for his qualifying run. We hear from a man who's already made his with Matt.
Travis Kvapil, racing for a reason this weekend. Special colors on your race car.
Yeah, it's a really neat deal. We came to Michigan. I'm sure people up in the Michigan area are familiar with the Wes Leonard story. Wes was a high school athlete. Great kid, made the game-winning shot just back in March in basketball for an undefeated season. Short time after that, fell victim to sudden cardiac arrest and passed away. So we got the Wes Leonard Heart Team on our car. WesLeonardHeartTeam.org is his website, along with Fellowship of Christian Athletes, just trying to raise awareness about Wes's story, and hopefully situations like what happened to Wes can maybe be prevented in the future or possibly have a different outcome. So racing with Wes and his family this weekend.
Great colors, great cause.
And I understand Wes's family is going to be here with the Front Row Motorsports team this weekend, which is great, and certainly I hope that NASCAR can once again bring awareness to a situation like that.
Don't you appreciate and love the way our teams and everybody in the garage down there in NASCAR in general reaches out, reaches out to help, underprivileged or people that are having all kind of issues or problems. I just love the way everybody pitches in and tries to help needy people.
Quite honestly, there's probably a story like that with every driver and every team in that garage here.
I think so, Ray.
Robbie Gordon, 6th of 12 cars that have been on track. That means Mike Skinner will not race this weekend. Now the numbers for Robbie, 38.985. Bobby Labonte still quickest. We're early in qualifying here at the Michigan International Speedway.
We believe everyone should get low prices every day. Every day.
On everything.
On everything.
And if you happen to find something lower,
we'll match it. We'll match it.
We'll match it. Any ad, any price.
Right at the register.
Get low prices every day on everything you need to beat the summer heat. Like Minute Maid Lemonade or Tropicana Fruit Punch for just $1. Backed by our Ad Match Guarantee. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Who's serving up a big breakfast this weekend?
On an endless buffet, a juicy steak.
Don't flip out.
Only Golden Corral would include steak for breakfast. It's on our endless weekend breakfast buffet, all for a great low price. Only at Golden Corral.
Remember when you could actually see shooting stars and your nightlight was a jar full of fireflies? Then keep the tradition going at Bass Pro Shop's Family Summer Camp with free workshops, crafts, and activities. Get the details at BassPro.com.
Introducing the ultimate
Manteca!
Manteca Trailer and Motorhome is Northern California's largest RV dealership. It is an established leader in sales, service, and parts, with thousands of parts. 30 service bays, specially designed to save time and money. Rentals, storage, RV services, and of course, a vast selection of new and used RVs and trailers. Click below to learn more about what you'll find at Manteca Trailer and Motorhome in
Manteca!
With Gold Bond medicated powder, you've got the power of fast, lasting relief from wetness, irritation, and itch. And that Gold Bond Cooling Rush says it's working like ordinary powders can't. Look for the healing seal, Gold Bond medicated, the powder with the power.
How do I deal with joint pain? I use the power of nature.
Introducing Icy Hot Naturals with natural menthol that gets icy to dull pain, hot to relax it away fast, plus 4 essential oils for a fresh scent. New Icy Hot Naturals, powerful pain relief.
Powered by nature.
The 10th of 11 go or go home cars to go out in qualifying here at Michigan. Locked into the field, Quapple, Nemechek, Lally, Robbie Gordon, McDowell, and Riggs. Mike Skinner will not race. Brian Keselowski on the bubble as David Stremme takes the green flag.
2:07 on Stremme into turn 1. Should lay down a pretty good lap. This car was been qualifying pretty well. Stremme's a good little wheelman.
And not only did he get in the corner good, he got off the corner just as well.
And for all intents and purposes, I mean, it's still a new team. 5 races this year, but when they come to the track, they make the show. And that's the way you got to lay a foundation if you're going to make this thing work.
Well, that's their strategy. He keeps talking about building a notebook. So when we get the money and when we can race it, we got information. We got notes to work off of.
It looks like they'll get information off of a 400-miler tomorrow because he's in.
38-78 for David Stremme. That means Brian Keselowski will not be here tomorrow. Chris?
Well, Jeff Gordon made a lot of fans happy down here as he spent about 15 minutes signing autographs. Jeff, you got some amazing stats at this racetrack. 18 top 5s, 5 poles, 2 wins. What's the trick?
Well, I don't know. It's one of my favorite tracks. I always love coming here, and, you know, you got to have the total package here. You got to have great horsepower under the hood, which we always have here at Hendrick, and, you know, a good handling race car as well, which we've been fortunate enough to have that as well with our Drive to End Hunger Chevrolet. You know, it's been really good this weekend. We didn't make a very good qualifying run, so I don't really know what to expect here, but we sure are glad we're getting the opportunity to qualify. It looked like rain yesterday. Now it's hot and sunny, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see what we've got here. But it's got to be better than where we practiced at 29th. But again, that was no indication of how good our race car is for the race.
Well, he's 11th in points, so another strong weekend. He could move up into the top 10.
You know, I was just looking at Bobby Labonte's time. He picked up a second over what he practiced. If that holds true, this baby's going to be fast.
J.J. Yaley, the last car out that must qualify on speed. On the bubble right now, Tony Raines. Yaley, the 14th car out overall in the final in the 11 go or go home category.
But yeah, that time on Bobby Labonte definitely faster than our fastest driver from yesterday, which was David Reagan, who will go dead last in this session.
Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned on the track record 194.232 miles per hour set by Ryan Newman. That's a 37.069. Don't think we're going to get to a 37.0, but we're going to be deep in those 37s.
Yaley is in. He's 5th right now, 38.855, and we know these guys will go home. Tony Raines, Brian Keselowski, and Mike Skinner.
NASCAR Race Day marches into Michigan. Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch join us live. Plus, we'll analyze how Jeff Gordon's career stacks up to the rest of the 84 Win Club. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, Sunday at 10 Eastern, live on Speed. July 7th, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series stampedes into Kentucky, where NASCAR's toughest truckers saddle up and trade some paint in the Bluegrass State.
Oh, problems!
As the series favorites Bodine, Hornaday, and Peters look to get back into the championship fight, while a surprising young gun looks to pull off the upset and solidify his name as a title contender. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Kentucky, July 7th at 7:30 Eastern on Speed.
Talking a big game about your engine is one thing. Having a proven history that can back it up is a whole other story. Unsurpassed torque, best-in-class towing, legendary Cummins engines. Which engine do you want powering your truck? Guts, glory, Ram.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Do dogs chase cats?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Here's to the pursuit. The pursuit of better. Faster. Cleaner. Funner. Here's to the pursuit of advancements that help make new engines possible and dreams a reality. Here's to the pursuit of another 100 years of earning America's trust. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
David Gilliland making his qualifying run here at Michigan. His teammate Travis Kvapil already put the 38 car in the show. Kvapil currently sitting second of those that have taken time.
You know, Larry David's done a nice job in this car here. He's had some great runs this year, starting back in February, and had some pretty good runs in this car.
He has, and I know he's probably looking forward to the road course race next week at Infineon, but more so than anything, back to Daytona, where he got that top 5 finish in the 500 back in February.
So engines, they just are singing a song, 9,500, 9,800 RPM, making about 850 horsepower.
Yeah, I mean, you're no lower than about 165 miles per hour at the slowest part of the corner.
10th is where David Gilliland fits into the puzzle right now, 39.037 seconds. The engines may be singing a song today, but I got a feeling the engine guys aren't singing. They'll feel a lot better when this race is over tomorrow.
Well, they will, but the one thing is the saving grace. It's a 400-mile race.
Absolutely.
But this joint is, man, you talk about this front straightaway over 200 miles an hour. You run, you what they call hanging RPM here. Come off the corner with so much speed, so much RPM, and you just maintain 9,500 now all the way down through here.
Sprint brings you an inside look at what is happening now inside the Sprint Cup Series. Darrell touched on this a moment ago. Ryan Newman has the qualifying record here, 194.232 miles per hour. It happened back in 2005. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile. It's at sprint.com/speed.
Ryan Newman considers this his home tracks down from South Bend, Indiana. He used to come up here, he and his dad, and watch the Cup races.
I'll tell you one thing, he's taking Bud Moore for the ride of his life right now.
Yes, he is.
That's Bud's picture back on the quarter panel there. Hall of Fame Bud Moore. Ryan is honoring him this weekend.
Well, and rightly so, because Bud is a World War II veteran. Many honors bestowed upon him, and looks like Ryan Newman's going to take Bud Moore in the Army straight to the top of the charts here.
Happy birthday, Ryan Newman. 38.456. He goes to the top. We step aside. More qualifying from the Irish Hills in a moment.
Barrett Jackson Haggerty Fantasy Bid returns to speed. Watch the auction live from Orange County and bid for your chance to win cool prizes. Barrett Jackson Haggerty Fantasy Bid, live Friday at 5 Eastern on Speed.
You deserve world-class emergency roadside service. Good Sam Emergency Road Service has performed over 1.5 million rescues to date. Developed and road-tested for RV owners who demand the best, we also cater to truck, motorcycle, and passenger auto owners. Good Sam does not charge extra mileage for towing your vehicle to the nearest repair facility. Call 866-GO-GOOD-SAM today and pay just $56 for the first year. That's a savings of 50%. You must act now to take advantage of this exclusive offer. 1-866-GO-GOOD-SAM. Call now.
We used to bet who could get closest to the edge. Took some crazy risks as a kid, but I was still over the edge with my cholesterol. Anyone with high cholesterol may be at increased risk of heart attack. Diet and exercise weren't enough for me. I stopped kidding myself. I've been eating healthier, exercising more, and now I'm also taking Lipitor. If you've been kidding yourself about high cholesterol, stop. 80% of people who have had heart attacks have high cholesterol. Lipitor is a cholesterol-lowering medication, FDA approved to reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke in patients who have heart disease or risk factors for heart disease.
Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. You need simple blood tests to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor if you are taking other medications or if you have any muscle pain or weakness. This may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect.
Keep going. Great ride down. Yeah. If you have high cholesterol, you may be at increased risk of heart attack and stroke. Don't kid yourself. Talk to your doctor about your risk and about Lipitor.
Finding free NASCAR merchandise and gear just got easier. Just enter your official NASCAR hologram code at NASCAR.com/hologram for a chance to score free gear and great offers, or a VIP experience that puts you right next to the action.
Speed's coverage of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Michigan is brought to you in high definition by Funai. Funai, fun and innovative. Experience more at FunaiAmerica.com. 16 cars have been on track for qualifying this afternoon. Ryan Newman, the quickest, he just went. As Darrell said earlier, in theory, they're just going to keep getting better and better, and if they do, Casey Mears will be the next to go out front.
Talked to Casey Mears earlier this morning in the garage area, his crew chief Booty Barker, and his explanation of his car almost sounded a lot like what Mike Skinner described. They kept jumping the fence back and forth. Too loose, too tight. Too loose, too tight.
He's up pretty high there in 3 and 4, a little higher than most guys have been. Most of the time you see that, that's just because the car took you there. Didn't necessarily drive it there.
3 top 10s for Casey here in Michigan. 4th, and he's not going to get close to that today. He's 11th of the 17 that have been out, 39.015 seconds. Chris?
Well, Marcus Ambrose is starting to get strapped into his car. And Marcus, last week you told me you had all these tricks up your sleeves for the gearbox. What happened?
Didn't work out too well. We just had a failure in the gearbox there, and I think it's just the nature of that gearbox, that track on the day, and caught me by surprise, I can tell you that. We lost at about lap 80. We made it to 124 before I burnt the clutch out. So just a bad day for us, but we'll bounce back this weekend. We've got a great car.
Last year he had 2 top 20 finishes here, so he said he's really starting to figure out this racetrack.
Chris, it's hard to find a racetrack where Jeff Gordon does not have big-time numbers. You see it here, 36 starts in Michigan, 5 poles, a couple of victories. But it has been a while since he went to victory lane at this facility.
He has 18 top 5 finishes. Half of his starts finished in the top 5.
That's pretty good average.
Yes, it is.
And you know what else? Before he ever gets to the checkered flag, we'll know what kind of lap he's got, because he usually tell you coming off turn 4.
We've seen a little faster than that getting into turn 1. That got the 205 on Jeff.
The car is doing that, kind of that wobbling thing, and it's seem fighting with the wheel going through 1 and 2 there. That's not a good sign.
I'm with Darrell. The qualifying format promotes unpredictable, but there are a lot of drivers that have got unpredictable today because they are fighting it big time.
And that's probably a product of the weather. I mean, just hot and sunny today.
don't know.
There you go.
You know him well, don't you, Darryl?
Yeah. He'll tell you. It's not a bad lap, but he was pretty sure it wasn't a pole.
38.77 puts Gordon 5th. Matt?
Big honor for Ryan Newman this weekend. Army on the car, usually, and celebrating 236 years. And also Bud Moore on the back, and you're making the most of it. Was the car still loose, though, Ryan?
It was a little bit free. The 24 there was going to be at least a marker for us, just based on the way the qualifying order works. But just really proud to represent the U.S. Army and Bud Moore this weekend. A true American hero, 2 Bronze Stars, 5 Purple Hearts, and a NASCAR champion on top of that. So we're really proud to represent them. 236 years strong, like you said, with the U.S. Army. And I don't know what that qualifying lap's going to do for us, but we've been working on the car pretty hard here this weekend, and we'll change some more things for tomorrow. But just look forward to the opportunity. It's one of my favorite racetracks, and first time Father's Day for both of us, so let's see what we can do.
It's going to be a special Sunday, definitely special for both of us, guys.
It's so neat to see so many of the dads in the motor coach lot, you know, celebrating their first Father's Day. And Darryl, I kind of get lonely on Saturday in the motorhome lot because you were out there. I would be out there for the Father's Day Olympics with your girls and my 3 kids, but they're too big to participate now.
Yep.
Martin Truex Jr., a pair of runner-up finishes here, Darryl, and he's quick right now.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good here. That tracker's right where you'd want it to be. Coming across here, let's see what kind of time he gets.
He's definitely going to be there, it looks like.
He goes in front of Newman. Not by much, 3/100ths of a second, 38.422 for Martin Truex Jr. That's 187.393 miles per hour. Brian Vickers on track when we return.
NASCAR Race Day marches into Michigan. Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch join us live. Plus, we'll analyze how Jeff Gordon's career stacks up to the rest of the 84 Win Club. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, Sunday at 10 Eastern, live on Speed.
Today, more than 6 million older Americans face the threat of hunger. In just 2 years, the number of people suffering has more than doubled. With your help, we can make this problem disappear. That's why I've teamed up with AARP and AARP Foundation in the Drive to End Hunger. Join us by visiting drivetoendhunger.org.
These drivers demand the most from their tires. They choose Goodyear. And everything we've learned making these tires inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
If you or a loved one.
I'm Anya from Bakersfield, and this is my power. When I was growing up, I used to leave the lights on, the radio on, everything. I don't want my kids to do that. With the smart meter program, we were able to see what you've used last year compared to this year, or last week compared to this week. It's a good tool that I can show my kids. A couple of weeks ago, I left the light on and they go, "Mommy, you left the light on." I'm very proud of them.
Learn more about Smart Meter and pricing plan options like Smart Rate at pge.com/smartmeter.
Through the years, many things pass from father to son, like Aqua Velva Aftershave. Smells great, cools, firms, and tones. Cool. Aqua Velva, men get it.
How do I deal with joint pain? I use the power of nature.
Introducing Icy Hot Naturals with natural menthol that gets icy to dull pain, hot to relax it away fast, plus 4 essential oils for a fresh scent. New Icy Hot Naturals, powerful pain relief.
Powered by nature.
Carl Edwards, a lot of success in this track. Let's hear from him, Chris.
Well, Carl Edwards still leading the points even after the problems last week with the engine. Carl, talking to Bob Osborne real quick here before he gets in the car. Carl, you were talking to Jack Roush. This is a racetrack that Jack really circles throughout the season as a place that he wants the team to do well. How much pressure is that?
There's a lot of pressure here. Did you see the evil look that Bob Osborne just gave you? See, I told Chris that we could do this interview, and then Bob started talking to me, and then when you came over, man, he was about to let you have it. But see, that's the kind of pressure that we're under right now. Bob wants to get this pole. We want to get the pole. But more importantly, we want to race well. We've got the Aflac Now hiring car. We got the folks from Ford were over here today. That was really cool. Jim Farley, Lewis Booth, the guys that are really big at Ford. They drove over here just to hang out, to see the races, and that's what this race means to a lot of us, is just to go out here and get a win in the backyard of Ford, and for Jack Roush too, it'd be huge.
Well, he had a huge point lead going into last weekend's race. That's reduced to just 6 points now.
Does Brian Vickers know how to qualify at Michigan or what?
Well, I think so, because right now he's at the top of the heap. He did not participate in neither race here last year, but his last 3 starts here prior to that started on the pole.
0.2 of a second quicker than the lap turned in by Martin Truex Jr. The numbers for Vickers, 38.266 seconds.
Now, Bob is really not a mean person.
No. there he is, though. That's what he looks like under pressure. Now, I don't know what he looks like when things are going good.
If you've noticed, ever since that little victory celebration in the Sprint All-Star race, Carl Edwards does not give Bob Osborne quite the hard time that he did earlier in the year.
You know, Bob's one of those guys, though, you could light him on fire and he wouldn't get excited. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's just calm and cool and easy. Here's Jeff Burton on track, the 21st car to go out in qualifying. Burton involved in a little skirmish yesterday.
A little skirmish.
and this
trying
car,
to make amends here, Larry.
This car is not happy. He was working it hard in 1 and 2. Let's see if it comes back for him a little bit. Maybe get a little. It slid up in the middle of the corner right there. Kind of fighting with it, losing quite a bit of time there in 3 and 4.
Went through 1 and 2. I felt pretty good. I got really tight in 1, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Exactly what you saw and described, Darrell.
Just looked pretty good in 1 and 2, but then got 3 and he just pushed up real bad getting in the corner.
38.80 for Burton. 185.553 miles per hour. He is 9th. This Friday, get ready. Orange County, California, the site for the greatest collector car event anywhere. Barrett-Jackson, and you can see it right here on Speed. If you want it, they got it. It doesn't matter what category. You see it at Barrett-Jackson, and of course you can see it all unfold right here on Speed. It happens Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and we look forward to having you with us.
Yeah, just listen to my man Mike Joy. If he tells you it's good, it's really good, because he can pick a car apart. I love listening to him talk about those cars. He can tell you if the taillight lens is wrong.
And you ever notice how many notes Mike has in his hand when he's talking about those cars?
I do.
Yeah.
None.
Here's Tony Stewart on track.
Look at that, 207 into turn 1.
Tony won here early in his career, went to victory lane in this race back in 2000. Not a great qualifier here on the front row in 2003, his only front row start. That was on the outside of row 1.
And Adam, if you knew, I mean, you don't feel like you're doing 207 miles an hour, because if you did, you wouldn't do it. But that's how these cars just don't feel like they're going that fast when you head off into that corner. They feel fast, but 207 miles an hour, for heaven's sake.
Tony Stewart is second, about 1/10 of a second off of what Brian Vickers ran earlier. 38.384 for Smoke. Landon Castle on track after a break.
Tide laundry detergent, Downy fabric softener, Bounce dryer sheets, and a pie pan.
Looks like someone used my nice clean towels again for his mud pies.
Was it me?
Who's this?
That guy? Never seen that guy in my life.
Only Walmart has low prices every day on everything to keep your wash fresh and clean. Backed by our ad match guarantee. Save money. Live better. Walmart.
He's going with the long tongs. Would have gone short tongs, but he's a pro. Montreal steak, unbelievable flavor.
With the mouth-watering flavor of Grill Mates, you can grill like an expert. McCormick Grill Mates. Master the flame. Master the flavor.
Well, I know one thing about marketing. The more logos you put in one place, the better.
Having something unique is better.
Check it out.
The Shell nitrogen-enriched cleaning system acts as a barrier to help protect against performance-robbing gunk.
He's good.
The Unprepared Man's Guide to Camping. The tent is an essential camping tool. For the unprepared man, however, there is another way. First, create a bedding of sticks and foliage and a stable tree. Erect a domed covering with branches and mud. Drape a jacket or sport coat over the opening. It's that simple.
Don't be that guy. Come into Gander Mountain and get everything for your next outdoor adventure. Gander Mountain, we live outdoors.
I thought it was over here.
I've been looking and looking my whole life through, trying to find my way back to you, 'cause I love you.
Now, right back always gets us there. Sometimes it just takes us a little longer to get back.
'Cause I love you, I do.
Just about halfway through the qualifying session here at Michigan International Speedway. Setting the lineup for tomorrow's Heluva Good Sour Cream Dips 400, race 15 of the 2011 campaign. And here is Landon Castle on track. Made his Cup debut in this race 1 year ago.
I think you see these cars bouncing around. Tells you why they think it's time to repave this joint. It's got a lot of bumps and humps in it right now that are really upsetting these race cars.
Yeah, and then add in how aggressive they get with their shock packages to try to pull this car down and get that splitter. You can see it big time there on the back straightaway. And that's not in the corner, that's on the straightaway. But yeah, and that's what makes it a challenge, trying to seal that splitter off but not have it bottom out.
Well, he lost it right there. That was going. He had a whale of a lap going until he got into 3, and he got it pushing and loose right there in the kind of the middle of 3 and 4.
It's still going to be a great lap for him, though.
Top 5, fourth is where Landon Castle is, 38.455. That's 187.232 miles per hour. Let's hear from the fastest, Matt.
Last 3 times here at MIS, Brian Vickers on the pole. Do you think that will hold up, because it seems like conditions are leveling out?
You know, thank goodness the sun's out. You know, I don't really see any clouds coming, which would definitely change things. The guys in the Red Bull crew did a good job. We tried a bunch of stuff yesterday. Some worked, some didn't. But we settled on a good package. Felt really good about 1 and 2. Incredible 1 and 2. Felt good about 3 and 4. It just got a little tight off, so I didn't get all the throttle out of it I wanted, but still a good lap.
Now, you've been doing a lot of crazy stuff. Larry Mack wants to go with you on your next jump.
I would love to have him. There would be nothing more exciting for me, no offense, than pushing him out of an airplane.
EW's a Hall of Famer now. We can't let him go.
Well, no, he has to come too. The whole crew. And
your redhead won't let him go.
Well, I tell you, the jump for Daytona, promoting the July 2nd race, was just what an incredible event. It was so fun. It was beautiful to see the track from that altitude and to come in and land on it.
Okay, Larry Mack and DW, I'll go with you guys if you guys want to jump on board the plane.
We'll compromise with Brian. What we'll do is we'll go with him with what he did last Monday. He went to trapeze school in New York with a net below him.
I've done that.
Yeah, well, he did that with a lot of his race team members last Monday. Yeah. I can live with that one now.
I kind of like what he said, though, Larry. I mean, I didn't take offense to it, but he said he'd like to push you out of an airplane.
I'm trying to figure out what that's all about.
I'm assuming that he meant you would have a parachute on.
I'm not going to assume that.
Someone set up the cameras for this event, okay? Both in the airplane and on the ground. While we were having fun there, Jamie McMurray goes out, makes his qualifying run. 38.47 puts McMurray 6th of 24 cars that have now taken time at Michigan.
Ryan Newman was telling me last night that he free fell in a vertical wind tunnel. And he said, now that's a hoot right there. You go in the wind tunnel, vertical wind tunnel, and you can free fall. They train in the military that way. Sound like a lot of fun to me. I might go for that.
What eventually stops you?
They cut the air off.
Oh, okay.
Do you bounce when you land?
I hope you have a net or something.
You know, kind of like what I was talking about Andy Lally. I just don't have a good feeling about that.
You stop it with your feet.
Marcus Ambrose on track. He was consistent here last season, a pair of 15th place finishes. Marcus has raced all around the world, literally. The 03-04 Australian V8 Supercar champion. In disappointment a week ago at Pocono after starting 7th. And this is the time when he needs to get it going. He's got a couple of road course races coming up in the next month or so that we know will fit nicely with his resume, and I'm sure he'd love to get it kick-started right here at Michigan.
Yeah, he's licking his chops for next week. That place, I'm sure he feels like owes him one. Talking about Sonoma.
Yeah, he dominated a year ago. 8th right now. Marcus Ambrose, 38.498. Matt?
Tony Stewart, a former winner here at MIS, currently second on the board. For all the Smoke fans, looking back to your race trim, what do you expect on Sunday? How good was the car in race trim?
Well, we worked through a different package that we haven't ran before and got probably a little bit behind there in the second session, but I was really proud of Darian and all these guys in this Office Depot Mobile One team. They did a great job with the Chevy, and we got pretty close at the end of the session, got a little different direction and having to work through some things, but I think we got a car that's close enough that we can adjust it tomorrow in the race and be pretty good.
Now, if you have a fantasy racing league, you might want to put him on your team. 5th and 6th last year here on this 2-mile oval.
And he won at the sister track, even though there's definitely some differences at Auto Club Speedway last fall.
I might put Tony on my roster if I were doing fantasy picks for Michigan. I would definitely put Carl Edwards, the only repeat winner here in the last 12 races, made his Cup debut here, and ever since he has been the model of consistency when it comes to racing at this 2-mile oval.
Well, this is also where he made his Sprint Cup Series debut back in August of '04. Actually finished 10th in that race.
It's still my favorite quote. It may be the quote of the year. What good is a big point lead if you're not going to use it?
Like those mulligans, right?
That's right. He used it up, too.
Carl very clever with his words, and not a bad race car. 9th, 38.585 seconds. Brad Keselowski's had some success here, Chris.
Yeah, and a Penske car has been on pole the last 3 weekends. Brad, you and Kirk going to be able to keep that streak alive?
Well, I don't know. I was watching Carl, and he ran the line I wanted to run. I thought he was going to have a pole lap, and it didn't work out. So I have to review my strategy. But, the Penske cars have been making a lot of gains, and the team morale is just through the roof. And no better time to be associated with Penske. So I feel proud, and just want to get this Blue Deuce back running up front. Another good qualifying effort like we had at Charlotte on the pole. We've had great races lately. We just haven't quite got the finishes out of them, with the exception of winning Kansas. But proud of where my team's at, proud to be associated with Penske, and here in my homeland in Michigan, Detroit, Be By Dodge headquarters, and we want to get them in Victor Lane.
Well, guys, keep an eye on it and see if Brad tries a different line than we just saw Carl.
Brad going for the hat trick later today, looking for his 3rd consecutive win in the NNS Series here at Michigan, and certainly would like to do something special tomorrow to put himself in the top 20 in points and have a chance to take advantage of that win at Kansas a couple of weeks ago.
We're looking at Kyle Busch in the 18 car, the first of the 3 Joe Gibbs cars to go out. One of the big stories that unfolded here yesterday, all 3 of the Gibbs cars had to change the oil pan. Darrell and I had the pleasure of talking to John Darby, competition director for Sprint Cup, and Robin Pemberton of NASCAR this morning, and they cleared some things up. It was not that those pans were a whole bunch more heavier than a normal oil pan. The bottom line is they were not illegal oil pans. They were just oil pans that had not been approved by NASCAR. No matter what you have on your race car, shocks, brakes, oil pans, headers, they have to be approved from NASCAR. They were not approved, Darrell.
Yeah, and you got to get it approved before you get here. Maybe they thought they'll look at it and they'll say they're fine, but you have to take items that bolt on these engines, all the accessories that bolt on these engines, pulleys, power steering, anything that bolts to that engine, you've got to have it approved by NASCAR.
Kyle Busch goes 10th. His teammate Denny Hamlin on track now. We remind you, next Saturday, a big one for the Rolex Sports Car Series. Going to a track they haven't been to in a decade, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. And it is legendary road racing at that facility. Don't miss the Rolex Sports Car Series. It happens next Saturday afternoon. It's at noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific, only right here on Speed.
Denny Hamlin, second of the Joe Gibbs drivers to go out there. Denny won this race a year ago, led 123 of the 200 laps.
He kind of tried to diamond that corner off a little bit, up a little high, and then cut it down. The car got just a teeny bit loose with him up off of turn 2 there. Still got a pretty good straightaway speed. Let's see if we can get through here. Dancing around. That car's a little free looking.
He's still gaining speed. It just depends on how much that little slide hurt his straightaway speed. He's going to end up in the top 5 for now, though.
In this case, Luce was fast.
Third, 38.41 for Denny Hamlin, who not only won this race a year ago, he was a runner-up here in August.
July 7th, the trucks stampede into Kentucky, where NASCAR's roughest and toughest saddle up and trade some paint in the Bluegrass State. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Kentucky, July 7th at 7:30 Eastern, live on Speed.
Who's serving up a big breakfast this weekend?
On an endless buffet, a juicy steak.
Don't flip out. Only Golden Corral would include steak for breakfast. It's on our endless weekend breakfast buffet, all for a great low price. Only at Golden Corral.
Here's to the pursuit of better, faster, cleaner, funner. Here's to the pursuit of advancements that help make new engines possible and dreams a reality. Here's to the pursuit of another 100 years of earning America's trust. Not just oil, Pennzoil. Get the same Pennzoil that Elio uses in his Indy car, now at AutoZone.
I'm Dennis Anderson with Gravedigger. I like running MagnaFlow on my trucks because it's got great sound, awesome performance, and it's tough as nails. I love being part of the MagnaFlow team because it's about quality and performance, and that's what I'm all about.
For the full MagnaFlow product line, check out magnaflow.com.
People everywhere are taking a stand and booking on choicehotels.com.
When I book a hotel online, it should be simple and easy.
We have the right to take the kids on a wonderful vacation.
As long as I save 20%.
I want to guarantee that my room rate is the lowest on the web.
Is no vacation bedtime?
Don't push it.
Oh.
It's your voice, it's yourchoicehotels.com. Get the best internet rate guaranteed on over 6,000 hotels and save up to 20% every day. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
We are!
Got it.
Don't be the last to know. Get it faster with 4G. It's the network of possibilities. AT&T.
Two of the three Joe Gibbs racing cars have been on track in qualifying. Kyle Busch right now 11th. Denny Hamlin went out. Third is where he sits on the board right now. And the final driver from the JGR camp, Joey Logano, who was not without some problems yesterday.
Yeah, his problems continued even after the oil pan saga. Shortly after that second practice started, they lost an engine in this 20 car, so he's going to have to go to the rear of the field. And including the Cup special events, Joe Gibbs drivers, they've had to have 6 engine changes before the race in 2011, and that includes the one the 20 car did here yesterday. And unfortunately, they've had 3 blown engines in races this year already.
Another thing that Joey did yesterday is he got in Denny Hamlin's car and ran a few laps. I think maybe he wasn't happy with his car. Denny's car, obviously Denny had great success here last year. Maybe he wanted to see what Denny's car felt like compared to his. That's great teamwork right there. When you'll step aside and let one of your teammates take your car out just to get the feel of it, that's good teamwork.
Well, and because of all the issues that Larry alluded to, the 20 team, he only got 10 laps of practice in his car. Chris?
Well, we were talking about the impressive stats that Jeff Gordon has put up on the board at Michigan International Speedway. Mark Martin has also done the same. Mark, 5 wins over the years. That's pretty great.
You know, I've had a lot of good times up here. Had a lot of good race cars, too. A lot of great racing. This is just a awesome track to race on from the bottom of the racetrack all the way to the wall. So it's one of the driver's favorites.
Well, good luck today.
Of course, Mark Martin now driving for Rick Hendrick, but he was a big part of the early success that owner Jack Roush experienced at this track, and Greg Biffle continuing the legacy. A pair of victories here coming back-to-back, August of 04 and spring of 05. Greg Biffle with a couple of victories, best start here, front row in 2007.
He's about a half a tenth better than Brian Vickers going down the back straightaway. He's lost a little bit now, though. Greg didn't quite make Father's Day this year. He and his wife, Nicole, they're expecting their first child, a little girl, in 3 weeks.
And we had a chance to see him yesterday. He is excited about what's going to happen for he and Nicole in a few weeks, and I'm sure happy with his qualifying run. Darrell, he's third.
Not a bad lap, really. He lost a little time off turn 2 there, hurt his back straightaway speed. Car got a little high in 3 and 4, but he held on to her and got a pretty nice lap.
38.389 seconds. Brian Vickers continues to be the quickest. He's a 1/10 of a second faster than Tony Stewart, who is second. Stewart and Biffle running times only 5 1/1000ths apart. Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr. complete the top 5. And here's Brad Keselowski. We'll keep an eye on his line. He told Chris a few moments ago that Carl took his idea and it didn't work good, so he may have had to call an audible.
Well, we can see right here. I mean, he went way high in 3 and 4, coming to get the green, kind of getting up some momentum, getting up some straightaway speed here. Let's see where he goes when he gets to turn 1.
Found it interesting. He's the first driver that I've seen kind of zig and zag down the back straightaway, getting those tires cleaned off, getting a little heat in them.
And you can see he's trying the higher line, and you can also see that's not working.
Yeah, the tracker went from 15th to outside the top 25, just like that.
Yeah, I think his strategy, I think he's going to try to get it down on the bottom here in 3 and 4, but that high line, that first lap, not a good idea.
Yeah, he went low, made a little ground up, and then lost it on the exit of the corner. He's going to have his work cut out for him tomorrow at his home track.
26th with still 15 cars to qualify. The numbers for Brad Keselowski, 39.093 seconds. In a few weeks, Darrell Waltrip gets to go home to the Kentucky Speedway. The Sprint Cup Series is going to be there for the first time. The NASCAR is going to be there as well. And on Thursday evening that weekend, the Camping World Truck Series hitting the track July 7th. You don't want to miss it. It's always good when the truckers get together. You can watch the action live from Kentucky, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Speed. We look forward to being there in a few weeks.
Yeah, how about a triple header? Just to kick things off real nice. Man, you won't recognize that place. They have built new stands, new suites, changed pit road, paved parking lots. It's a palace.
The only thing they didn't do is mess with the configuration of the track or the garage area. The track is a D, the garage area is a W.
Yeah, but Bruton Smith told me, don't get too excited about that. I'm going to fix that too. I don't know how a garage will look shaped like a B or a track shaped like an S, but
it'll be a fun night. And folks up there have been waiting a long time.
Yes, sir. 11 years.
Now, this is our pole sitter for today's race here in the NS, Paul Menard. It's going to be a good run for him, it looks like.
Off the turn forward at the stripe. Top 5 for Paul Menard, 38.403 seconds. How about this? Larry, you look at second. Stewart, 38.38.4. Biffle 5 1/1000ths behind. Menard runs a 38.40 and a 38.41 for Denny Hamlin. It's tight.
Vickers is in his own zip code.
Yeah,
right
he is.
now.
I left him off the list. Sprint brings you an inside look at what is happening now inside the Sprint Cup Series. Jimmy Johnson's never won here, but boy, is he a qualifier. Best average start, 7.8 in 18 races at the 2-mile oval for all 5 time. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed.
Yeah, he's got 11 consecutive top 10 starts here, so always starts up front. He's led a lot of laps. He's just never closed the deal and went to victory lane.
Fuel has been a small issue for him.
Yes, watched one of those replays of a race a couple years ago last night.
You look at the last handful of races here for Jimmy Johnson. In fact, you go back to this race in 2007, 56 laps led, 65 laps led, 146, 133. He leads virtually every time he comes here, Larry. They've just had a hard time, as you pointed out, closing the deal for a number of different reasons, and I know he'd like to cross this one off his list.
Yeah, he had a tough time in the middle of 3 and 4 on this qualifying lap.
I think it was that straightaway speed he got. That was 203 into turn 3. You know what happens down here? You make your tires mad down here in 1 and 2, and then they get you back over here in 3 and 4.
Jimmy Johnson, 12th. 33 cars have been out in qualifying at Michigan.
If you're looking for a pickup truck, Check out the miles per gallon, the length of the powertrain warranty, and the horsepower. Only Ram delivers this kind of muscle. That'll thin out the herd real quick. Guts, glory, Ram.
You know, actually, he fit the car pretty well. I felt that he was quite cheeky, to be honest. You're gonna break it. I'm telling you, I can fit. But, you know, I don't like to judge, no matter how much of a fool he makes himself look.
Do you think he's capable of driving your car?
If we can get him sitting high enough in the seat, probably have to get him a kid's seat so he can see over the steering wheel. I think I'll make this look pretty good. You look ridiculous in there.
Find out why more champions put their trust in the synthetic technology of Mobil 1, the official motor oil of NASCAR. Many drivers, one oil, Mobil 1. Burger King created an enticing alliance of brainiacs and carnivores to formulate the BK Stacker, a crave-crushing quotient of beef, bacon, budget, and cheese for a head-slappingly simple 1, 2, 3. The BK Stacker, only at Burger King.
Check out all the great Father's Day gift ideas at Bass Pro Shops and BassPro.com, like Columbia All-Trail Cruise and Lookout Pass shorts, each for under $20. And save $20 on New Balance 608 cross trainers. Plus, don't miss Family Summer Camp.
Well, it's a glorious day. I don't know about all you, but I've been waiting a long time for this day to happen. And it's finally here. Kawasaki's Good Time Sales Event! Kawasaki! You can win a Kawasaki at every participating dealership. A Ninja 250R, buy a 250, and thousands of other prizes.
And on that note, I love ya.
You are cordially invited to Kawasaki's Good Time Sales Event. Get your ticket at kawasaki.com/win.
This is more than a ticket. It's a wallet-sized definition of who you are and where you belong, providing both a place to sit and countless chances to stand up for what you believe in. It's a rite of passage, a declaration of independence, and an invitation to discover 43 new heroes and 100,000 new friends. This is more than a ticket, because it says as much about you as any piece of paper can. Reserve yours today at NASCAR.com/tickets.
Clint Boyer on track in qualifying. Brian Vickers, Tony Stewart, Greg Biffle, Paul Menard, Denny Hamlin, the top five. Let's check in with Chris Neville.
Well, the press has been bugging Dale Earnhardt Jr. all week long about his last win being here 3 years ago. And Dale, I've got to bug you too. You ready to get this monkey off your back?
Well, we'll get it off our back when the time is right. You know, we get the right, we get everything working for us in the race and have a fast start. But we're just trying to worry about qualifying right now today. And we had a pretty decent car yesterday for qualifying, so when we made our mock run, so we'll see. It's a good race car.
Good stuff. Good luck.
So Dale Earnhardt Jr., last one here at Michigan, trying to snap the streak this weekend. It's been 107 races since his last victory. And if you're wondering the longest winless streak ever snapped here, how about Sterling Marlin when he won for Dodge in 2001? It snapped a streak of 170 races without a victory. Clint Boyer goes 15th on his qualifying run. And Greg Biffle third right now, Matt.
Great effort down in 1 and 2. Beat the pole sitter at that juncture by a tenth and a half. And then what happened in 3 and 4?
I don't know. Something with the driver happened down there. Just a lot of confidence. The car had so much grip in 1 and 2. This Red Cross 3 and 4 Fusion, really good. And 3 and 4, I didn't overdrive it. It just didn't turn in the center like I needed it to. You know, if I overdrove it, I'd be first to admit it. But just seemed a little bit tighter on that end. And I was watching everybody. McMurray was a little loose down there, and I thought, you know, I'm going to be pretty good. You know, just be careful down there. And just a little bit tight. Had to come out of the gas coming off of 4, and that probably cost us a little bit, but still a great car.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks.
Here goes Mark Martin to make his qualifying run. 35th driver out today, and when you talk about Mark's resume at Michigan, get your pencil ready because this guy has done a lot. Most wins by an active driver, an active full-time driver. 5 times he's gone to victory lane here. 29 top 10 finishes.
How many starts?
51 tomorrow.
51 starts.
One racetrack.
Starts.
He ought to know what it takes to get around here.
Yeah.
But you mentioned those 5 wins. The last win 2 years ago, we just talked to one of the drivers that fell victim to fuel, Greg Biffle, and then the other driver was his teammate Jimmy Johnson. Mark only led 1 lap, and it was the last lap.
Started 32nd that afternoon and drove his way through the field. The deepest a winner has ever started here. And Mark Martin going to have a little closer run on Sunday. 12th is where he's qualified right now, 38.509 seconds.
Yeah, his teammate Jimmy Johnson right behind him in 13th, and Jeff Gordon down in 20th. We got Dale Jr. to go yet. Hendrick boys got a little work to do.
3 straight poles for Roger Penske. Brad Keselowski couldn't get it done. Maybe his teammate can, Chris.
Yeah, Brad Keselowski now, I think, back in 30th. So all the pressure is on Kurt's shoulders this weekend to try and keep that Penske streak alive. Kurt, you good with that?
We're good with it. We're up for the challenge. Brad's car simulation, according to the computer, was a little tighter than ours, so hopefully we're not too loose, and we'll see how it shakes out. But it's been a great week with the polls we've had and the runs we've had recently. The Shell executives were up here in Detroit saying hi to all the Dodge people. It's fun even playing a round of golf at the BD Open with all those guys, so we had a good time.
Good stuff.
That's amazing. You know, we used to just go compare notes with our teammate. Now they're comparing the simulations of the way the cars are set up.
Yeah, they do their practice. They do all this. They get all their information. They send it back to the boys in the shop. And I just got this vision of a bunch of guys sitting with white aprons in a room somewhere, just running all kind of programs and seeing what they come up with. I mean, it's a science these days.
I saw Larry in a lab coat last week.
I know, it makes me nervous.
Montoya with a new look this week, the Cars 2 paint scheme. He hopes for a similar result to what he had last week at Pocono, a top 10 finish and a qualifying run that puts him 16th, 38.595 seconds for JPM.
His teammate Jamie McMurray still hanging in the top 10 in the 1 car at 9th.
So yesterday we had practice for the Sprint Cup Series here. We had nationwide practice. Today we got qualifying. We've been busy, but if you miss us on the air, we got you covered. Go to speed.com. They got practice, qualifying reports, all the latest news, driver standings. Speed.com in the NASCAR section will deliver every time.
This is the young man we were talking about at the top of the show, our Daytona 500 winner, Trevor Bayne, back in a Sprint Cup Series car. Last time this team was at the racetrack, his teammate Ricky Stenhouse, 208 into turn 1. Wow. And look at the tracker right there. But the last time at Charlotte, Ricky Stenhouse finished 11th, driving for the Wood Brothers, subbing for Trevor Bayne.
Stepped out just a little bit on the corner exit there, Larry. Moved the tracker back, but let's see. I like what he did right there. Got out of the throttle early. Let's see if he can pick it back up and carry the speed out of there. Now, turns 3 and 4 is giving these everybody the last couple of cars a real fit.
Yeah, he gave up a lot from the middle of 3 and 4. Still a good run for him, though.
Yeah.
11th is where Trevor Bayne ended up. How about 38.496 seconds for the Knoxville, Tennessee native? If you're a race fan but you don't know who to root for, this would be a good place to start, Darryl.
You got that right. He got us a lot of new fans with that win he had back in February Daytona. I can tell you that. Opened a lot of people's eyes.
And he'll be headed back there again in 2 weeks.
He and Donnie Wingo doing a nice job. Glenn Wood, owner of that team, inducted into the Hall of Fame this past week.
We might tell you to root for Trevor Bayne. He'd be a good guy to root for. We don't need to tell you to root for Dale Jr. He's got plenty of them pulling for him.
Oh, no, they're all standing up right now. This car goes on the track, people stand up and cheer.
Darryl, I know you're into social media, and I read this week where Dale Earnhardt Jr. became the first NASCAR regular to surpass the 1 million fan mark on his Facebook page earlier this month.
Yeah, you know, he was, I don't know how to put that. He didn't embrace it right away. But he has lately, and it's obviously people flock to Dale Jr. whatever he does, and his Facebook page is a pretty good representative of that.
Ooh, another wiggle in 3 and 4.
Yeah, I really think these guys are using up a lot of their tires in their car down in 1 and 2, and they're getting the effects of it. Cause and effect.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. good in practice yesterday and a pretty dang good qualifying run. 10th right now, 38.476.
He's by far the fastest Hendrick driver.
No question about it. 38 cars have been on track. Kansas on track when we come back.
Barrett Jackson Haggerty Fantasy Bid returns to speed. Watch the auction live from Orange County and bid for your chance to win cool prizes. Barrett Jackson Haggerty Fantasy Bid live Friday at 5 Eastern on Speed.
Who's feeling power hungry? Who's ready to break through more barriers? From brick walls to budgets. Then let's get our hands on some of those tools that only live on orange shelves. Because when we come home with that fistful of doing and keep that pocket full of savings, there's nothing we can't conquer. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Power more projects with this Ryobi Starter Kit or Dremel Multimax, each just $89.
Green flag.
Hi, I'm Otto Williams from Money.
Baby face, you've got the cutest little baby face.
Now this is a cutie.
There's not another who can take your place.
Adorable.
Baby
What a smile.
face.
It's a whole new take on Cute and Cuddly.
Heart is thumping, you sure have started.
See the new exhibit, Snakes and Lizards, at the California Academy of Sciences.
Now that's a hug.
Now through Labor Day. Tickets at calacademy.org.
Bill Brandt Ford in Brentwood is tough on the competition. It's tough to beat our prices, tough to beat our service, and tough to beat our customers' satisfaction. We take pride in our business and work hard to satisfy our community every step of the way. Award-winning sales consultants, service technicians with over 250 years combined experience, and a parts department bar none. And right now, get a 2011 Ford F-150 at 0% APR for 60 months or up to $4,000 cash back. Bill Brandt Ford is Bill Brandt tough.
To qualify, he is setting up his run. Let's check in downstairs.
Well, Kevin Harvick was third quick in that first practice. And Kevin, I read something this week where Richard Childress said prior to your win last year, you were always searching for the right line. Last year, you ran up near the wall. You going to run up near the wall this weekend?
Well, it just all depends on where your car's working. On that particular day, our car worked well up on the top, and our Budweiser Chevy's been good both on the bottom and the top this weekend. So hopefully we can get a decent lap in here and have a good race tomorrow.
Hopefully a decent lap will give them back-to-back wins at MIS.
We're getting down to it here. 38 of the 46 cars have been out. And Matt Kenseth, he's on a run. It's looking good.
Yeah, he's over a 10th quicker than Brian Vickers as he drives off in the middle of 3 and 4, as long as turn 4 doesn't fight him, which has fought a lot of drivers. You can see him losing a little ground there.
Yeah, but the car looked pretty darn good, too. They're better than most.
New man at the top. Matt Kenseth goes fastest, 38.17. He goes almost a 10th of a second quicker than Vickers did.
And when Matt Kenseth qualifies that well, woe be unto the competitors. He's going to be tough on race day.
Got that right.
And this July, baseball's biggest stars will gather together in the Arizona desert for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event, as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 MLB All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix. It happens at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Fox.
Here comes a little qualifying machine right here, I can tell you. Whoa, man, he was up there next to that safer barrier.
Brand new race car for Regan Smith. We talked to him yesterday during the practice sessions.
Regan started in the 8th position here a couple of years ago. That's his best qualifying effort at Michigan. Best finish here, 21st last August. So this place not been great to driver 78, but there are a lot of places that have fit that category for him entering 2011, and he's kind of rewritten the record books personally this season.
Larry, you see what he's doing?
Yeah. He's making sure before he puts that throttle down that car's ready to take 100% throttle.
Yes, sir. He's easing it in the corner. Out early, but backing up really, really early before he even gets to the middle of the turn.
Fastest Chevrolet so far.
Really nice run. I like the way he drove that lap.
38.378 seconds for Regan Smith. David Reagan fast yesterday in practice, Chris.
Yeah, and David Reagan had pole at Texas earlier in the year. I know Jack Roush really wants a pole this weekend. Matt Kenseth's up there right now. Does that take a little bit of pressure off?
A little bit, but it also adds pressure at the same time. If he's got the car that can do it, maybe we can. Our UPS Ford, We Love Logistics car has been pretty fast. I was happy with it yesterday. I don't think we made any changes, or at least they didn't tell me we made any. And go out here and get a good lap in, regardless. The top 5, top 10 starting spot would be great.
Good luck.
Larry, why do drivers always say that? Well, at least they didn't tell me they made any changes.
Because they know crew chiefs.
They know I do.
We didn't change anything but.
Yeah.
You see the one pole for Kurt Busch here at Michigan. That came one season ago. And Kurt trying to get Roger Penske his 4th consecutive pole.
Well, I tell you what, he got down into turn 1. Nice.
208, and the race car stuck. And he's carrying great speed down his back straightaway.
She was slipping a little bit off turn 2, but he was in the throttle, man. He's going somewhere.
It flicked at just 206, solid 205, and now he's up the racetrack trying to keep that run, keep the momentum up.
Lost a little time right there. He slid the front end a little too much.
It's going to be all on top of it.
Delivery. Kurt Busch.
He got it.
With a roar from the crowd. 38.156 seconds. And yes, it is P1 with 7 cars to go. Matt Kenseth was fastest, Matt.
Just edged the Las Vegas pole sitter was. Matt Kenseth now 17. Which end of the racetrack, Matty, was your car more impressive?
Well, I think 1 and 2 is probably a little more impressive for everybody the way the wind is right now. It gets you a little more grip down there. But I was happy with my lap. I couldn't get any more out of it if I tried. So I feel like I got everything. We just missed the balance a little bit. We're just a little too loose in 3 and 4, and was real careful not to overdrive that. And felt like we got it all. We just missed a little bit on balance. So, but that's still going to be a great run for us. I think it'll probably put us in the top 5 and be a great spot to start for tomorrow.
Keep an eye on the 17th. 2 wins here, looking for a 3rd.
He's going to start up near the front, no question.
So 5 cars remain in the qualifying session. And here's Casey Kane. Won from the pole here in 2006. Also got the pole here last August.
Daryl, he carried a lot of speed getting down into 1 and 2, and his race car stuck. I don't want to call Casey Kane a dark horse, but if you're looking for maybe a dark horse, this would be the driver to watch tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, and I mentioned yesterday, Kenny Francis, his crew chief's mom, passed away this past week. I want to be sure and say hello to the family, and hearts, prayers, and thoughts are with everybody in Kenny Francis's family.
Not a bad run for Kenny and company here. 38.393 seconds, 187.534 miles per hour. Only 4 cars remain in qualifying in Michigan.
You've reached the age where you don't back down from a challenge. This is the age of knowing how to make things happen. So why would you let something like erectile dysfunction get in your way? Isn't it time you talk to your doctor about Viagra? 20 million men already have. With every age comes responsibility. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor. See if America's most prescribed ED treatment is right for you.
With DirecTV, you can start watching in one room, pause,
and continue watching in any other road. Don't just watch TV, direct TV.
At Goodyear, everything we've learned making these tires inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
He's going with the long tongs. Would have gone short tongs, but he's a pro. Montreal steak, unbelievable flavor.
With the mouth-watering flavor of Grill Mates, you can grill like an expert. McCormick Grill Mates. Master the flame. Master the flavor.
Witnessing the sheer spectacle of NASCAR inspired Neil and his friends to share their passion for speed and power. One customized ringtone at a time. Now each call reminds them that if everything was more like NASCAR, everything would be more awesome.
I'm Tony Stewart, and I wear my band to Unite for Kids. Band together with me by logging on to www.nascar.com/unites. Pledge your support.
David Rudiman, the 43rd. 46 cars to go out on track in qualifying this afternoon for tomorrow's running of the Heluva Good Sour Cream Dips 400 at Michigan.
Got a good feeling about this lap for David. His car was solid yesterday afternoon, and he's a great little qualifier, always has been.
He definitely ran the high line, real high up 3 and 4 coming to take the green.
Drops it right down in the middle of the track, takes that diamond look, in a little high, cuts the corner.
Gained on it big time off the corner.
Yeah, getting up out of there pretty nice.
That seems to be the trend over the last few drivers. It gains a lot of time from the middle of 1 and 2 off the corner.
This is the end here that gets you. If you can get through here with some speed, you got a pretty good shot at it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's going to be close. It's going to be right there on top of it.
He looked really good getting through there, I thought.
He just misses a pole run by 3/1000ths of a second.
A 15, what is it,
15.6 to a 15.9.
Golly. Nice job, David.
More than 188 miles per hour, Matt.
And Steve Addington and Kurt Busch still discussing his qualifying effort. And I'll tell you what an animated description you were giving, Steve, about your qualifying lap, especially 1 and 2, and then down in the middle of 3 and 4.
Yeah, it's amazing how it just comes down to these thousandths of a second. And I went NHRA Pro Stock racing. That's when you really feel those thousandths. This was a great run for our Shell Pennzoil Dodge. A little bit iffy through 3 and 4. A really good 1 and 2. So we'll see if it holds up. But real proud of the guys, and it's been a great week. Played golf with a bunch of the Shell and Dodge executives at the BD Open this week. So we're pumped up. It's been a good family atmosphere right now, knowing what we've got all ahead of us.
I'm just happy for Steve Addington.
Yeah.
Poor guy was just about ready to jump off the cliff, man. It sure is good to see him smile. Good to see them get things turned around.
Yeah, that team, as we watch Kevin Harvick make his qualifying run, but they have scored more points in the last 3 races than any other race team.
Yeah, they've been on it, no question about it. One of the big reasons why qualifying up front always helps. We know Harvick doesn't need to qualify up front, but he started 8th here in August, won the race leading some 60 laps.
Got a pretty good notebook for here now and in California. 2 similar racetracks, certainly not the same, but I love the move he put on Jimmy Johnson out in California. Used the old push. He didn't bump draft him. He pushed him all the way down the back straightaway like you do at Daytona and Talladega. Jimmy went in there about 10 miles an hour faster than he needed to, and Kevin drove right around him on the outside.
And that's the same race car, and we also need to mention, after what we saw at the beginning of the Pocono race, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch now officially off probation when the green flag drops tomorrow.
And both will be on race day tomorrow.
It's a coincidence.
Don't you stir anything up, Walter.
Just a coincidence.
Here's A.J. Allmendinger. 2 cars remain in qualifying. Kurt Busch currently sitting on top, trying to earn his 3rd consecutive pole in the Sprint Cup Series. 38.156, the time that he turned in a few moments ago.
You know, this was for many years known as a Ford racetrack. When you came here, you knew you were going to have to outrun a Ford. Right now, we only have 2 Fords in the top 10. Matt Kenseth third, Greg Biffle, his teammate, in 7th.
I'd listened to the engine in the 43 car here. In the middle of 1 and 2, he was out of the gas a long time.
And they're not getting through the middle of 3 and 4, even though he's running the high line. For the guy that was second quickest yesterday, he's going to have his work cut out for him.
Finished 11th here in this race 1 year ago, his best ever at this track, and 25th right now in qualifying. David Rudem with Matt Yoakum.
And he's talking to the boss, Michael Waltrip. So 3 1,000ths, that equates to about a wiggle?
Yeah, wiggled in the middle down there. And that's where we lost our time, I think. So proud of my guys at Michael Waltrip Racing, Toyota Racing Development, a really good horsepower under the hood this weekend. And my guys did a good job. I let it wiggle, and it cost us just enough.
I saw Michael talking to Kurt Busch when he walked by, and I heard him say, "That's awesome." And then I read his body language, and the body language said to me, "You're crazy for driving that thing in the corner like that."
Yeah, 3 1,000ths of a second wiggle.
There was a wiggle.
And that's critical. You know, you have to get through 3 and 4. We know everybody's running 1 lap for the most part. You have to get through 3 and 4, come to take the green. And look at the tracker outside the top 40 right now.
Well, I think he'll come back to this.
David Reagan was quickest in the opening practice yesterday, which sets the qualifying lineup.
Talked about Roush Fenway, 11 Cup wins here at this place.
Rudeman had a wiggle. I'm not sure what you'd call what David had there coming to get the green. Whoa, that car's just loose. Got the back end all hung out.
This is the reason this format is so unpredictable. He was the fastest cat in the alley yesterday, ends up 20th after his 1 lap of qualifying.
And that's where he will start, because he is the final car to make a qualifying run here today.
Let's take another look at that coming to green, because that's really what cost him, I think. Plus, it hurts your confidence. If your car's that bad coming to get the green, you only can imagine what it's going to do when you get down to turn 1.
Yeah, when you get back over there, you've got another lap on your tires.
That's right.
You know, before Kansas a couple weeks ago, Kurt Busch didn't have a pole as we look at David Reagan.
Yeah, you can see he had his, that's just a big slide right there. I mean, that just killed that whole run.
Yes, killed his confidence, killed the lap.
Kurt Busch has 3 poles now this season, and that leads all drivers, Chris.
Yeah, and Roger Penske now has 4 in a row. The last time Roger had 4 in a row was back in 2004. What a great accomplishment for this organization.
That's big. Ryan Newman must have been around then with all the poles he's gotten over the years. This is an incredible feeling, you know, to be where we were a few weeks ago and to just turn the ship in this direction. We didn't know if this would be right, but everything clicks right now. The way the whole program's working, guys back at the race shop, guys building the engines, me and Steve, the communication, even our team engineer who said it was going to rain today, we're like, it's not going to rain. So it was just an amazing feeling on how things are just clicking. Got to thank those guys for standing behind me. I love them. They love me. We'll keep plugging.
Well, Kurt Busch is the only driver in the series to be in the top 10 all year long. This team is really firing on all cylinders.
Sometimes we say in a race, where did Kevin Harvick come from? When you look at the season, people are saying, where did Kurt Busch come from? 3 consecutive poles, and he'll start out front for the 2nd consecutive time here at Michigan tomorrow afternoon in the hell of a good Sour Cream Dips 400.
July 7th, the trucks stampede into Kentucky, where NASCAR's roughest and toughest saddle up and trade some paint in the Bluegrass State. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Kentucky, July 7th at 7:30 Eastern, live on Speed.
We believe everyone should get low prices every day. Every day.
On everything.
On everything.
And if you happen to find something lower,
We'll match it. We'll match it.
we'll match it. Any ad, any price.
Right at the register.
Get low prices every day on everything you need to beat the summer heat. Like Minute Maid Lemonade or Tropicana Fruit Punch for just $1. Backed by our Ad Match Guarantee. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Talking a big game about your engine is one thing. Having a proven history that can back it up is a whole other story. Unsurpassed torque, best-in-class towing, legendary Cummins engines. Which engine do you want powering your truck? Guts, glory, Ram.
Well, I know one thing about marketing. The more logos you put in one place, the better.
Having something unique is better.
Check it out.
The Shell nitrogen-enriched cleaning system acts as a barrier to help protect against performance-robbing gunk. He's good.
Who's serving up a big breakfast this weekend?
On an endless buffet, a juicy steak.
Don't flip out.
Only Golden Corral would include steak for breakfast. It's on our endless weekend breakfast buffet, all for a great low price. Only at Golden Corral.
Here's to the pursuit of better, faster, cleaner, funner. Here's to the pursuit of advancements that help make new engines possible and dreams a reality. Here's to the pursuit of another 100 years of earning America's trust. Not just oil, Pennzoil. Get the same Pennzoil that Elio uses in his IndyCar, now at AutoZone.
It's the biggest pre-race show on television. Yes! Live at the track before every Sprint Cup event. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. All season long, live on Speed.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Sprint Cup qualifying is complete at Michigan. Kurt Busch, the pole winner. David Rudiman joins him on the front row. David Reagan, quickest in practice, will start 20th tomorrow, Matt.
Best car on Friday was David Reagan. What happened on your qualifying effort?
I didn't have any speed coming to the green. It's so important to get off of turns 3 and 4 to take the green flag and carry that momentum around. I got a little free and I had to get out of the throttle, so I was a couple of hundred RPM off today than what we were yesterday. So, you know, going this late, the track's rubbered up some. We probably should have made a few small adjustments, but we were so good yesterday, we just chose not to make any. So we've got a great UPS Ford for Sunday, and it's just going to be a little bit more work that first few laps to get around some of these guys, but it'll be fun.
We've had a couple first-time winners in 2011. Many expect this guy to be the next.
David Reagan, hoping for his second pole of the year, will start 20th. We look at the lineup. Busch and Rudiman on the front row.
Matt Kenseth, that's a good sign for Matt Kenseth. I'm not sure about the competition when he qualifies that well.
See those two Red Bull cars there up in the top 8, and we've had 83 races here. 65 of them has been won from a top 10 starting spot. I see a lot of drivers that says, you know what, that stat's not going to hold true tomorrow.
We're still looking for some first-time winners. There's Paul Menard. He's lurking.
Dale Jr. trying to snap that winless streak. Starts 15th here tomorrow.
Great run for Landon Castle there.
Trevor Bayne, Marcus Ambrose sharing row 9 in their Fords. Mark Martin, a 5-time winner, starts 19th.
5-time. That's a heavy group right in there, Kevin. Harvick.
Johnson, yeah.
Look at row 11 and row 12. There's some horsepower there. Jeff Gordon, way back. Joey Logano have to go to the rear of the field because of that engine change yesterday.
Well, he won't have 4 to go.
No, he won't.
Jeff Burton, 33rd is where he starts as that team tries to get something going. Some of the other drivers that had to work their way into this race on speed and able to do so. Yaley, Lally, a part of that bunch, and Brad Keselowski a few weeks ago on the pole, starts 41st in his home state tomorrow. Here are the drivers that failed to make the race. Tony Raines, Brian Keselowski, and Mike Skinner. The only thing left to do here at Michigan is race.
And that they will do. They'll be up top, they'll be on the bottom, they'll be in the middle.
And Larry, what are you going to work on between now and tomorrow?
My thoroughbred. I need to water my thoroughbred a little bit.
You work on the back, I'll work on the front, if you know what I mean.
I got you. I got you.
Get me a little extra gas in there, buddy, if you can.
Good news for Kurt Busch. He won his 3rd consecutive pole today. The bad news, a pole winner has not won a race in 2011. When Busch started on the pole here last season, he finished in the 3rd position. I know he wants to win. I think the top 5 would be acceptable for him, though. Sprint Cup race tomorrow afternoon. Time now to go to our studios in Charlotte, North Carolina. Speed Center update with Lee Diffie.
Thanks, Adam. Already so much